The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Hey there, sports fans. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Sports NYC. I'm your host, Bobby C., checking in from the NBA Finals in Miami. We've got a great show coming up next on the program today. The Heatles finally prevail in the NBA Finals as the legend of LeBron James is revised. We catch up with sports writer Andrew Rosario in Miami for more insight. Our cameras then turn back to the Bronx for a special look at Yankees Hope Week. YesNetwork.com sports writer Jerome Preisler stops by Sports NYC, where the price is right for the first place Yankees. All that and more is heading your way. So keep it locked. This is Sports NYC. Miami split the two road games, taking Game 2 before returning home to South Beach for 3 straight starting on Father's Day. The Heat wasted little time, capturing Game 3 91-85 behind NBA MVP LeBron James and his 29 points and 14 rebounds.
We got stops. We got out on the break offensively, and our 3 main guys, pulled us through.
Game 4 brought more of the same from James and Miami in a 104-98 final. Another comeback in American Airlines Arena, not to mention another near triple-double from LeBron, who finished with 26 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds.
Last year, when we lost the lead, we never got a bet. Today we had a good lead, and they went up by 10. We just kept fighting and crawling back.
OKC, one of the youngest, most talented teams in the league, vowed more fight in Game 5.
Like I said before, every loss is tough, It's not just about home court, but every loss and the player is tough, And after a loss tonight, something is hard. I know it's tough, but right now we can't do nothing. We can't get back right now.
But instead, Thursday night's forecast in Miami called for plenty of heat and no thunder. Lightning struck OKC in the form of raining threes. The Heat connected on 14 three-pointers in a 121-106 Game 5 drumming. And King James became the 14th player in history to win both the regular season Most Valuable Player Award and the Finals MVP, recording his 8th triple-double, 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 13 assists. Miami won its 2nd title in the franchise's 24-year history and the first in 6 years. Let the celebration begin.
Some hard pains together, man, since college. But more importantly, when we got to the NBA, we always supported each other.
The question is that, of course, it's the best moment of my career, man. It's never tasted this good, it never burned my damn eyes this much, too. But I don't give a damn. They're gonna say Shane. They're gonna say Shane.
That's why I'm working right now. I'm putting these shades on. What's up there? What's up there? Come on here. Hey!
Welcome back to Sports NYC. Our Bronx contingent, Andrew Rosario from LatinoSports.com. He covers the NBA. Joining me now from the NBA Finals in Miami. Andrew, good to see you.
Likewise, Bobby. Thanks so much for having me.
What an exciting NBA Finals this season. And I know it was a shortened season, but if you could rank for me on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10, of course, being the greatest, how would this final match up for you?
I would say it's probably like a 7 or 8. It's right up there. Competition was on point. I think when it boils all down to everything, I think that you had the experience of the Miami Heat against the youth of the Oklahoma City. Great teams, but I think that if you look at the games that mattered, Miami made the plays when they had to. Oklahoma didn't.
LeBron James, of course, gets crowned the MVP of the series. How would you compare LeBron in 2011, because the Miami Heat lose to Dallas Mavericks in the finals, to this year's LeBron that wins the MVP, leading the Heat to a championship over the Thunder?
Great question, Bobby. I'll tell you this. I think that last year, because he got to Miami for the very first time and they went to the championships, I think that he a little deferred to the other guys on his team, Dwayne Wade or whatever. But I think this year, especially with Chris Bosh going down early in the Indiana series, I think that he took it upon himself to say, you know what, I'm going to make this my team and everyone else is going to follow. And great players make other players around them better. And I think you saw that in Norris Cole, and I think you saw that in Mario Chalmers, and tonight, Mike Miller. Who would have thought that he would have been the factor in wrapping up the series and bringing home the championship to Miami?
Great performance by Mike Miller tonight, no doubt about it.
No question. I mean, the guy walks around like Fred Sanford, but you give him a minute, you give him a little bit of space, and like he showed tonight, he'll drain that three-pointer.
I think the matchup coming into the series was certainly a matchup that was talked about of being LeBron James versus Kevin Durant. For so many years, we've been waiting for that LBJ versus Kobe Bryant finale, but now it seems like the two best players in the game are probably arguably Durant and LeBron James. In this series, LeBron wins the MVP, he completely outplays Kevin Durant. But I'm gonna ask you to play GM right now. If you had to be a GM and you had to take one guy, would you take LeBron James or Kevin Durant?
I'm going to take LeBron James. And for one reason and one reason alone. If you look at them physically, it's like LeBron James is a beast. He's a monster. If I'm Kevin Durant, what I'm going to do in the offseason, I'm going to hit the weight room. I'm going to hit the weight room. I'm going to hit the weight room hard. Because I think when you saw them matched up against each other, how physically dominating LeBron James was.
The heir to the throne for the next NBA great is up for grabs. Will the throne be fit for a king, or will a Durantula swoop in and become the next great of the NBA? What do you think? If the Heat pull this out, does it do anything to his character as a player? You're talking about Kevin Durant.
No, I don't think so. He's 23 years old, but we do the referendum thing. Who's the greatest player in the game right now? At this moment, it's LeBron James, and I would start a team with him. Call me back in 2 years. Might be Kevin Durant.
No, I know what type of player he is, you know. Only time I'm really impressed when he does some fantastic dunk or something. But other than that, I know he's a winner. He's a competitor. And he's going to do all the little things to win.
No, Kevin's done a lot of very good things, you know, in this series. Not just scoring the basketball, but, you know, his defense has been playing well, too. So, you know, they're both two of the best players in this league.
I don't think it's a bad spike. You put LeBron on the court where he's not effective. He's been so good all year. No, he's one of a kind. He's one of a kind.
When you're the scoring champion in the league for 3 years, you know, you're second in MVP voting. I mean, what do you expect people to say?
He doesn't care about that. We don't care about that. We just want to do this as a team. That's what it's all about. All those other things can be debated. They'll always be debated. You know, that's for everybody else. But for us, it's about going on this journey together, completing this journey together. And, of course, he plays a big role in that.
So if I'm at the park, it's a Saturday morning, it's hot outside, and if we lose, I got to wait an hour. I'll give up my game, let somebody else run, and I'll navigate my team where I get both.
We're going to shift gears from the finals and conversation about the Heat to the New York Knicks. I know a lot of people in New York are asking the question, will Jeremy Lin be back at point guard? Rumors now that Steve Nash would be open to joining the Knicks. If you had to choose, are you taking the MVP, Steve Nash, or former MVP Steve Nash, or are you going to take Jeremy Lin?
Oh, there's no question you've got to take Steve Nash. His experience, his ball guile, the way he runs the offense. Listen, Jeremy Lin is a good ball player, but he's not a starting point guard. He was exposed, you know, after he had that phenomenal run, he was exposed. And I'm sure he's going to work on his game in the offseason, which is fine. But if you get an opportunity to get a guy like Steve Nash, who's 37 years old, but he's still playing like he's 30 years old, you got to get him. Let him mentor Jeremy Lin. And I think that in the long run, that might be the answer for the Knicks.
In addition to covering the NBA for LatinoSports.com, you also cover the NFL. I was hoping before we let you go today we could talk a little bit about the NFL, and I know you were out at the NFL draft covering the draft. We wanted to take a quick moment right now for a little Sports NYC Rewind. And coming in at number 1, the Horseshoe has some new luck. Goodbye, NFL legend Peyton Manning. Hello, Stanford's Andrew Luck. Indianapolis has a new franchise QB.
Peyton Manning, arguably the greatest ever. He was my football hero growing up. I realized you don't really replace a guy like that. How can you? Those shoes are, those shoes to fill are huge. But I know I'm not going to go crazy trying to do everything, that Peyton did. I realized different personalities, so I'll put my best foot forward.
Perhaps second to none. Taking the second spot, Mr. Heisman himself, Baylor's Superman, Robert Griffin III, is heading to our nation's capital.
It's going to be an exciting division. Growing up in Texas, you see that division a lot. It's if not the best division, it's one of the best divisions in football. Great quarterback play, great pass rushers. So there's going to be a lot of excitement in the division.
The Cleveland Browns were on the move with the third pick, grabbing Alabama running back Trent Richardson. Browns legend Jim Brown doubts Mr. Richardson, something the 5'9" bruiser says fuels him.
Motivation. If he said I'm an ordinary running back, I got a lot to prove. And, for him saying that, that's big shoes to fill.
Who says an offensive tackle can't be a top 5 pick? USC's Matt Khalil is Minnesota bound. He's all set to block for quarterback Christian Ponder.
I'm really excited. It's definitely going to be fun. He's a great guy. I had dinner with him one time. And he said he was hoping to get me, so it looks like he got his wish.
With Jaguar-like speed, Oklahoma State wide receiver Justin Blackmon is hoping to invigorate a slow-paced offense in Jacksonville.
Feel great, man. It's it's a blessing to be able to go down to Jacksonville. Blessing to be here. It's a dream come true to be able to play in the NFL right now.
That's the who's who of the NFL drafts, top 5. So, Andrew, at the NFL draft this year, I think the big conversation was pretty much around the two big quarterbacks, Andrew Luck or the Heisman winner, Robert Griffin III. If you had to take one of those guys, who would you take?
You know what? It's really crazy. I'm looking at both individuals. I'm looking at the teams that's drafted them. And I would have to say I would take RG3, only because I think his mobility is the big factor in his game. There's no question Andrew Luck has, aside from my name, a great arm. But in today's NFL as a quarterback, if you don't have mobility and you're standing in the pocket, you're going to get exposed. We've seen quarterbacks in the past, Randall Cunningham, guys like that can move around. That's what I think is the difference between both those guys.
And then just a little bit of forecasting and looking ahead. Do you think the Giants could be back in the conversation to repeat as champs?
They're going to be on the map, no question. They got OC back. They re-signed him. They did lose a couple of guys on the offensive side of the ball. But it's the NFC East. And just like they showed last year, you can go into the playoffs at 9-7 and win a Super Bowl. You've got Washington. You've got Dallas. You've got Philadelphia. Those teams are always going to be in the mix. It's hard for a Super Bowl champion to repeat as we see. So we'll see.
Well, Andrew, wanted to thank you for coming on the show. It's great to see you again. And wanted to encourage the fans at home to check out LatinoSports.com and read all the columns and game action from Andrew Rosario. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have more Sports NYC.
A 20-second timeout here as Orlando has cut this thing back to 4.
Did you know that during this 20-second timeout, someone will be diagnosed with diabetes?
It could be someone you know.
It could be someone you love.
It could be you.
Find out if you are at risk for diabetes.
If you are at risk,
get tested. Don't sit on the sidelines.
Get in the game.
For more information, go to dribbletostopdiabetes.com.
This is Larry Graves from the New York Catholic League champion St. Raymond's Ravens, and you're watching Sports NYC.